Welcome to the show, everyone. You know, I talk about my show a lot. And the reason why I talk about it so much is it's the greatest show on earth. And the reason why is because it's just information for people. That's it. And the listeners, when they call in, they talk to me, they think they know me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great because they all say the same thing. I just love the information. And you just never know whether it's you or for someone that you know. That's what this is all about, networking. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. My first guest has been on with me now several times.
Right.
And I have with me Scott Fischer. He's the owner of Options for Senior Living. And I want to talk about him for a second, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
You know, I've really gotten to know you in the last, it's been about at least this last year.
Right.
And I'm telling you, what I know from you is what your passion about the seniors and how helping them, not even what you do, with everything, resources and everything.
Right.
He is your seniors advocate. He truly is. And you do such a great job with that. You also care about the different facilities, I'll say it that way, that are out there, because I see you, I have to tell everybody,
Yeah.
I see you on Facebook, and you hand these little cookies to them, it's adorable what you do.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, thank you. I love coming down here and
Thank
doing
you.
this, and I
Thank
feel
you,
like
thank
a
you.
relationship has been built with us, and I feel like as your audience interacts with you, you know, you have a relationship with the people that listen to you every day, and it's just been fun for me to be a part of that.
Thank you.
Options was started in 2003. I had a long career in healthcare. I was graduated from Arizona State with a degree in nursing, and so I spent years prior to this season of my life. I spent years in another season where I served and worked with people that were challenged with mental health and mental illness, and so I've always had a heart for people. I've always had a desire to leave the world a little better than I found it. And when we started Options in 2003. It was my attempt to create a resource for families that were stressed out. Adult kids mostly were stressed out because their parents were experiencing challenges of aging. And so whether they had some neurological issues like with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or various other healthcare concerns and falling, the adult kids had somebody to call that knew their way through this complex maze of senior care and senior living, and we could help them find the right long-term care solution for a parent when the time came. So that's what I do.
It's perfect that you said that,
Yeah.
because the last time you were on, I wrote down something you said, and what do people say? Why
did I do this? Do there?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we love our parents. We love our seniors. We want to honor their liberty, their right to create their own futures and decide for themselves. Except that when safety becomes an issue, we've really got to, as adult kids, step in, and that's where it gets really murky. And that's where I can help families. So oftentimes be that third voice into the conversation, so that we can help get the safety situation solved.
You also mentioned stressed. Well, the reason why you're stressed is because you usually get calls when people are in a crisis. That's when you get the call.
Yep.
And what you have been stressing since you got here, and I'm sure before that,
Yep.
please don't do that. Please get this information so that you get yourself prepared.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I can tell you firsthand, I saw my ex-mother-in-law go through just that. And she lost everything she had because the kids didn't know what to do. They ended up getting her in a place just to be there, right? And she had to sell her house, everything. And it all just happened within seconds, it seemed, that I'm like really quick.
But it happens really quickly.
It does.
When the dominoes start to fall.
Yeah.
We wrote a lot of things on our website about our mission statement and our values and all that. And our mission statement is about preparing every family for the challenges of aging and prepare them for their long-term care needs. And so yeah, of course we get compensated by the senior living facilities. Our services are free to families, but before that they need us a lot too. So we've helped like 4,500 families in the last 22 years find the right long-term solution. I've done more than double that, just answering questions, pointing them in the right direction, hooking them up with some friends, make sure they got their powers of attorney done with the right attorney, whatever. It's just, people need a lot of guidance as they are experiencing this aging.
And nobody wants to talk about it for some reason, but it's a very important conversation. First of all, with you, you've got such a wonderful background in everything that you've done. You're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You're valley-wide, and when you say that, obviously anybody, but you also know, the landscaping, the landscaping. You know what's good, you know out there, and when you meet somebody, I guarantee you, he walks into the room, takes a look around, knows exactly what's right for you, practically before you even start talking.
Well, that comes from doing that face-to-face assessment and
Exactly.
being at people's homes so many times over the years. But it also, behind the scenes, what my team and I are constantly doing is visiting those senior living providers, the small residential group homes, the large corporate operators. When you see us on Facebook, we're delivering cookies to a bunch of those guys.
I think it's so cute.
It's our way to engage with the sales directors, the sales teams. We get to visit the community. It keeps relationships open. It's because they are my product. I represent them, and so we need to know what's going on in those buildings. We keep track of what's going on behind the scenes with them, with the State Department of Health surveys. So when families come to me, it's not just a random dartboard, or I don't just give you 3 names of facilities that are in your zip code. We look to match your loved one's care needs to the right facility.
His phone number is 602-845-1320. Put the phone number in your phone. I mean, because especially if you have a senior, your loved one is a senior, because it really does, it happens so fast. If you have any questions, it's all about getting yourself prepared. You may not even do anything right now, right?
The couple weeks ago, we had this giant haboob.
Yeah, I was aware.
And maybe a lot of people had ever seen how quickly that hits.
Yeah.
I've done a talk for years, a presentation for both families and for professionals, and I call it storm clouds on the horizon. And there's always in a senior's life, there are small things that are happening, one-off little events that are happening. And those are like the storm clouds early in the afternoon before the haboob hits.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be like, oh, mom forgot an appointment. Oh, mom missed a meal, missed her medication, got lost and got off at the wrong exit. There's various little things that are happening. But then all of a sudden, boom, here comes the big one.
Right.
When someone falls, breaks a hip, has to have the fire department out, all that kind of stuff. And they go, golly, how did this happen? And if they had been looking at the little signs that were starting to occur, you could see the storm was probably brewing already.
So again, his phone number is 602-845-1320. His website is optionsforseniorliving.com. And it is a free service to you, so it really makes sense for you to have him, because it's really, if you think of it as, it's gonna be fun.
Right.
Don't think of it as it's gonna be, oh my God, because you get to go and visit. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go on these tours and find out, well, what fits right for you.
Well, and when we sit down with the decision maker, and it's often the adult child, but it could be the spouse, the well spouse, what we also see is just the relief factor that when we come in and bring in our resources and bring confidence to the situation, it brings great relief to the family, and that's always the best for me.
In my opinion, it's so important. I love that we have this information out there for the people. Again, it's options with an S for seniorliving.com. Hang tight, we're going to be back in just a minute. So we're still live in a minute, okay? So, what I think is important, again, we're going to talk about these, these events that you're putting on. We'll do that now.
Okay.
But I want to come back and just finish off with the importance of calling early, okay?
Yeah.
It's got to be hard, I would rather have the choice though myself. I saw what my mother-in-law did, and it was literally just go here, because they had some friends there. Meantime now, she's miserable.
Yeah.
She's miserable.
I as an adult son, I have 3 younger brothers. I'm so upset with 3 of them at the moment currently because I'm here, they're absent. Mom's had various issues. She's had adaptation issues to the place she's been in. We've had care failures where she's been. And I just recently had to move her again. And to be, I don't know, struggling with my brothers on top of struggling with my mother. And
Are you struggling because you're here with your mom by yourself and they're doing their own thing and living their life and having fun?
That's right. So I'm in the front chair and I took that role on and that was fine. There's financial implications because mom doesn't have enough money to cover what she needs. She blew through piles of money, so we're handling the difference. Having to navigate the money part of it and make decisions that are best for mom. And I have brothers that want to minimize it to a money decision as opposed to, hey, what do you need, big brother? Hey, whatever I say should, in my position, I want them to trust that what I'm doing is all and it's just been this ongoing battle about nickels and dimes and look, nobody wants to be paying. I don't want to be paying, but we've probably contributed $100,000 to my mom in the last 10 years since she moved here. $100,000 is $100,000.
That's a lot.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
And my brothers and the time.
Personally, though.
Yeah, that's just my part of it.
Yeah.
So mom has gone through piles of money, and my brothers are not here, and so also what's my time worth? How much to do? Yeah. You have to hire somebody to do what I do for our mother. It'd be $150 an hour.
Yeah.
So my brothers and I are on the same page right now. At all.
Well, I'm here to talk to,
So if you know a guy that can walk me through this, it just adds to the stress already of loving your mom.
I wonder, can we talk about that for a second?
Please. Yeah.
So welcome back. We've been talking to Facebook land, and I think what's really neat is that we can do that, during our breaks when we do the 30s, and you started talking, and oh my God, how many people out there are taking care of their parents because they really feel like they owed it to them, right? And there you might have brothers and sisters that maybe live even here. That's even worse if they live here, right? And they're not contributing and they're not helping. Well, let me tell you something. That is a very, very complicated situation because things get heated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. Just to be real brief, my mom moved here a little over 10 years ago to be closer to me for her. This was going to be the last move. She was going to move to Phoenix. She was living in Cincinnati near her family. She was having some family health challenges. I have a brother in Ohio, a brother in Nebraska, a brother here with me, and then myself. I'm the oldest of the 4 of us. It felt like it was my gift to my mom at this point in her life to bring her here. So she needed family to be close, and I was the oldest of the 4 of us. Over that time, mom's care needs have changed, and her desires have changed. Not to bash mom, but managing her money has never been her forte, and so
she needed a financial advisor.
She had one, and she chose to kind of do her own thing a lot of times, and so with that has left our family, my brothers and I, and our wives, in a position of having to cover her financially, and now that she's in assisted living care, that her monthlies have now more than tripled in the last 3 years, right?
It's expensive.
So it's very expensive, and so you've got a lifetime of love and challenging relationship, and you're navigating kind of the end of life together. You have 3 younger brothers. You have the financial complications. And then you have the care facilities that haven't been great with her. And because she doesn't have the best budget, she doesn't get the best opportunities for where she lives. And so it's been a real, so when families call me and go, do you know anything about this? I'm like, I live this every day. Besides doing this for 20-something years, I live this every day. My heart, I have cried. It has broken my soul to fight and struggle and combat the agitation with my brothers at some time, or with my mother at some times, and my wife has her dad's in assisted living, and so we have it on both sides of our family. And so when people talk about the old sandwich generation, oh, no, we're here. I have 4 grandchildren, and I have mother and in-laws, and there's 4 generations of us. And I'm in the middle of it, still working and running a couple of businesses. And so I always turn it back. It always keeps me very tender and sensitive to the families that I'm working with. They want the very best for their family, just like I want the very best for my mom. And I think when we feel that emotional pain, Carol, it allows us to stay open to others and stay humble and stay vulnerable and connected. And it's the way I don't know, it's always been the way I've been wired, and it's the way that we still run our business today, and it's very family forward business.
It's wonderful, but with a lot of people out there that are doing the work, it could be very hard.
No, you can see the sadness in the adult kids' eyes. You can see the mad in their eyes at times. It depends on what day you're getting them some days, because they love their mother, they love their dad so much, but they can be, and I'm telling you, that generation that survived the Depression, that survived World War II, they are the proudest, most hardcore, private people.
Yeah.
So, they've got their planning
I'm
done.
okay, what are you talking about?
Exactly. The lady next door needs you guys, not me. And yet they're so it's very, very hard to get them to share and open up sometimes.
I want to also say this really quickly, because I want to get to what you're doing, this Stay Safe at Home seminars that you're doing. It doesn't always have to be that, you're sitting there and you have to feed them or change them or this. It also could be very verbal when because they can get, I've seen her, Kenny's probably listening, he knows, he's probably laughing because it's so true, because they get agitated,
Yeah.
and they get mean sometimes. I mean, what I'm saying is it could be hard that way too. And that's something also, I guarantee you, that you also help the families as well, because you need a break and you need to know what to do with it. And we also want to keep your family safe. That's another thing that we want to talk about. So let's talk about your coming up. It's going to be really cool. On November 5th is your first one,
right? And
tell them about the Stay Safe at Home seminars.
Well, we wanted to do something this year, as a lot of our snowbirds are coming back into the state in the fall before we get into the holiday season, and we want to emphasize that the aging of our community, I've said this before, we have 160,000 to 80-year-olds in Maricopa County already, 1 million people already 65. So Phoenix, Greater Phoenix is aging, and the number one issue in the ERs is fall-related trauma, and the number one issue to the fire departments is running around and picking people up off the ground, and so while people are aging at home, we want them to age safely at home. So we have 4 events. We're going to do those around the city, November the 5th, November 12th, the 13th, and the 19th. The 5th will be in Phoenix, in the Biltmore area at the Embassy Suites Biltmore. On the 12th, we're going to be over in Scottsdale at the Mustang Library. We're going to have participation from the Scottsdale Fire Department. We're really excited about that. On the 13th, then, we're going to be over in the west side of town, and my buddy from the Phoenix Fire Department, who is a huge advocate with the Governor's Council on Aging and the Task Force Against Senior Abuse, he's going to be a featured speaker with me. And then we're going to be out in Chandler, and it looks like we're going to have the Vice Mayor of Chandler, who's an old friend of ours, and she is a fierce advocate for families and aging and all kinds of things. So we're going to have the Vice Mayor, Christine Ellis, join us that day with our other speakers. It'll be a great day.
Is all the information going to be on your website?
It'll be all on the website. These are free seminars. They are for the community. They are for our families that are experiencing these challenges, and it is totally free. We want you to come, get resources, and get educated.
Keeping them safe. This is the big thing, because first of all, it's for obviously the family and for the loved one. But let's talk about the fire department for just a minute, because how many times do they have to go in? Sometimes more than once.
It is an epidemic. They log all the visits they do all the time, so they know how many times they've been in Joe and Helen's house, or Bernie and Sherry's house. They are there a lot. They're frequent. I used to make a joke. If they know what day Cody's working or what day Chad's working, that's bad, because that means they've had those guys and those crews into their house multiple times. So it's a very real situation. Our tax dollars are being drawn into this responsiveness, and the fire departments want to help. It's not like they're hating this. But we're depending upon them to reach out and touch our seniors. And so now the cities are looking at developing their own workings of creating resources and resource connections.
I think that would be
great.
great.
And we're right there with them, helping them design some of those programs for those cities.
Because, that's the one thing, the number one reason why somebody falls, it's usually slip and fall in the bathroom, right? Or the
80%
kitchen.
of falls are in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, I happen to, like I said, I've seen this firsthand. She fell outside where it was rocks on her front yard, right? Dragging herself to get because no one was there, of course. Nobody saw her. She lived in a cul-de-sac. She got terrible, terrible wounds that she didn't take care of.
Yeah.
So she ended up with, almost septic, right?
Yeah.
And ended up in the hospital, and then they told her, she thought she'd go home. Sorry, you're not going home.
Now they're telling her she's got to go to senior living.
And they had to figure it out because you only have a certain amount of days.
Right.
That's what people don't realize.
Right. There's a lot of times that's when we get called, is when they're in the rehab and someone says, no, this can't happen. I've had those very same issues. I've cared for guys that were walking in the desert, they fall, they trip, and the rocks are 180, 200 degrees, and they just melt into their muscle.
Terrible, terrible.
Yeah.
And so we've got to keep them safe, and that's what you're going to do is when you go to these, you could check them out on the website, which is options with an S for seniorliving.com. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You were nominated for Ethics Award in 2022, and it's a free service to you. And it's important to have him come in early and let him do his assessment and find out. It may not even be now.
No,
right?
it's so much better when we talk earlier and we help you create a family aging plan for your loved one. And so what resources. Usually when we get involved, there's 4 to 6 things that everybody needs. And maybe if it's early in the game, you need a mobile physician to come to your house, or you need your powers of attorney updated or documents signed. I mean, it could be anything, but we address all that when we meet with a family for the first time.
So again, you can call him at 602-845-1320. This is a free service to you. He's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. He is your seniors advocate. Again, that number 602-845-1320. It's options for seniorliving.com.